Hello, my name is Taraton Cochran, and for my project, I decided to do mine on streaming. First, I'm going to get into music streaming. Listed here is a picture of many music streaming sites such as YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Before music streaming, people were limited as to how they were able to get their music. Many people had to go out to actual stores to purchase hard copies of CDs, cassettes, and vinyl records. Also, music was accessed illegally through torrent sites such as BearShare and LiveWire. And around the early 2000s, the most popular way of purchasing music was purchasing a CD or getting an actual MP3. What is or was important about streaming? Streaming allowed a consumer to go out and listen to a project before they bought it, and they also allowed consumers to purchase from like their smartphones or any device that they had internet. Medium or media. Streaming impacted everything music-wise in the world, from everything from music to movies to news and television. Nowadays, we have sites like Hulu and YouTube where consumers can watch the news. Hulu specifically has their own news station where they pretty much just shorten everything down from everything from like CNN or Fox News, and they pretty much just tell you the main points of everything so that you won't have to sit there for a long period of time just to get to the main points of the news. Music is being streamed nowadays on sites like SoundCloud, YouTube, Tidal, Spotify, iTunes, as well as Pandora. These sites allow artists to distribute their music to millions of listeners and do pretty much everything that labels were doing for artists within the early 2000s. So nowadays, it's easier for an independent artist to achieve that global success on their own rather than having to sign with the label in order to reach those certain platforms that they had access to. Impact. Streaming helps artists a lot when it comes down to numbers. For example, if an artist were to getting ready to drop a project and they decided that they wanted to release singles first that was going to be featured on the project, every time that they released one of those singles, every time that it was viewed and listened to, or if they released a video to the single, every time that it was viewed, all of those generate numbers towards the streaming for it. And since the song is going to be featured on the project, all of those sales, like if the song was sold, all of those sales from the single being sold, it generates into the total album sales, which makes their album do better in the end. As far as the impact goes, streaming changed everything. For example, nowadays in cars, they have slots where you can stick in an auxiliary cord and you can stream music directly to your car. Nowadays, many people use apps such as Pandora in order to stream music for their cars. This made everything much more easier on people rather than having to change radio stations back and forth in order to listen to the songs that they wanted to listen to. Also, many things such as laptops and computers no longer have built-in CD players. Impact continued. Streaming made it easier for consumers who love to watch movies to be able to access their favorite movies online. For example, a new site that everyone loves to use nowadays is Netflix. On Netflix, they have their own original movies that comes directly to Netflix that you can watch that are exclusive to only Netflix. And they also have TV shows that are aired on all channels that you are able to watch from the site. They also have movies that came out around the 1940s up until the year 2017. As long as the movie has been out and is on like DVD or something, then you can watch it on Netflix. Impact continued. Streaming made it possible for television as well as news to be viewed in a more convenient way. We now have sites like YouTube with live streams from Fox News and CNN, and you can watch it directly from there rather than having to watch it on your television. And you can watch those from anything such as your smartphone or tablet or computer. Hulu has its own version of news that you can stream and watch every day. And it made it possible to stream and watch shows that were aired on television that you may have missed. In conclusion, streaming changed the culture of the world that we know of today and made media more accessible for the consumer. Streaming changed technology and it forced it to advance. For example, as stated before, cars and laptops today do not have built-in CD players or cassette players anymore. So you have to have a smartphone, or in order to hook an auxiliary cord up to the car in order to play music, or you can always just listen to the radio as everyone has done before. Streaming helped give independent artists the same resources and opportunities that label were giving artists. For example, nowadays you have direct contact with sites in order to stream your music and stuff, rather than having to wait for a label to sign you and then use their resources in order to get those connects with the companies and put your music out. You can do it yourself from your home. Listed on my citations, and this concludes my project on streaming. Thank you all for your time.